face to you all, every single damn one of you out there watching right here, right now. What is going on? Because it's Fridays, y'alls. Friday, man, we made it once again. Too sweet to us all. Oh, baby. Oh, baby, baby. Come here, baby, baby. He misses you guys a lot. He does. He misses you guys so much that I had to bring him back for you. He misses you. He wants you in our lives. Don't you, mate? He wants to stalk you. He wants to stalk you. That's what he wants. He wants to follow you down the corridors and see what's going on. Welcome, all you first-timers and all the regulars who are here for drama time. And not only that, though, we've got that sweet, sweet web show tomorrow where I think something happened this week in WoW. Can't quite recall. I can't recall. Something to do with some patch, some new raid. I don't know. Something happened. I'm pretty sure something happened. And we'll probably get to talk about all that kind of stuff. Because, of course, I'm sure many of you here can confirm that everything in World of Warcraft this week is hunky-dory. Isn't it great? Isn't it great? Isn't it wonderful? Some classes are having a really good time. Don't mention double ice. That's it. It's too close to home. Yeah. But Glacial Spike, though, right? Ooh, 15 million. Ooh, Crommy? I don't remember Crommy. You sure you got that right? Isn't it Chromie? I don't know. Enhance is better now, yeah. Did get to play a little bit of Enhance. In fact, did a lot of work on the guys today, which was so boring. Getting it all ready for you guys. Doing all the grunt work that needs to be laid out before we do that. And of course, Emma's streaming tonight for that late night stuff. I'm trying to convince her to play Life is Strange. Because I've played it, Andy doesn't want to, and the sequel's coming, so I'm trying to get a version of it out from our channel so we can do that, but she doesn't seem up for it. I don't know. Pretty weird, man. Pretty weird. Anyway, why are we here today, though, right? I'm sure everybody in the live chat knows, but for those of you who randomly selected a religious video, which I found out actually happens today, we pop up alongside the religious videos. Yo. Yo, this is not that kind of show. No, I'm not going to start telling you about the stuff with the Lord and all such things. Not today. We're going to have some stories about games and people on the internet being anonymous and doing all kinds of crazy nonsense. To which I'm going to kick us off with this wonderful tale from a young... The title is very misleading, if I'm going to lie. I'm not going to lie. Memoirs of a Bear. It's the Memoirs of a Bear we're going to have today. The Memoirs of a Bear. So, the Memoirs of a Bear. Sounds legit. We need some names for the Memoirs of a Bear. Who's going to be the creepy uncle? That will be Tony. Creepy Uncle Tony. That actually works really well. Congratulations, Tony. You're a legend in your own right. Come on, type. You miserable, wireless piece of crap. Tony, I need a guild. I need 2 guilds from the chat. 2 guilds. 2 guilds. We're going to have Tom. We're going to have Lyrica. Not the Twat Wombles before any of you fucking... I'm not even looking. I know you've already said it. I know you've already said it. You're not funny. And Daniel. Daniel. All very standard names besides Lyrica. Only the girls pulling off those names. The Sunshine Death Bunnies. I'll definitely take the Sunshine Death Bunnies any day of the week. The Sunshine Death Bunnies. And Sausage Fest. Sausage Fest. There we go. Those will be our wonderful guild names for today. I also want to point out Drama Time is now 100% up on SoundCloud. So for those of you who watch it on your way to work, have a good day at work, but you no longer have to watch the YouTube. You can watch it or listen to it on your phone, on SoundCloud. All of Season 4 is up there. Took me ages, but it's on there, yeah? So you can do that with your phone and your earphones and all that kind of shit. But there you go. All good stuff. Right then. Are we ready? Should we start? Should we begin this journey together? Let's go. Hello, Preacher, possibly Ghost.
Bon afternoon.
Bon afternoon. Bon afternoon. And audience. And audience. That's you wonderful people. I am from Team Slovakia. Right? Team Slovakia. So I want to apologize in advance for being Slovakian. And for all the grammar atrocities in this story. Now, I want to comment on this. I appreciate that some of you type drama time on your phones. That's fine. However, even a phone has a full stop button, a period, if you will, that you can break up your essay-long sentence with. It's crucial. I'll accept an email that says on it, sent from my iPhone or whatever, full stops requirement. Yeah? And I cannot see emojis. Just putting that out there. I cannot see emojis. So just help me out a little bit. Help me help you. All right? Help me help you. All right? Just let's cut the emojis down a bit and include some periods in there. I was thinking about posting this drama for some time. Wasn't sure if it was dramatic, funny enough, since I tried as every normal person would reduce drama as much as I could. But things don't always go to plan, do they? I decided I would leave this decision to you, and possibly the audience. No, it's just me. Look at that chat. Would you trust them with vetting the drama stories? Can you imagine the filth? Can you imagine the filth? It would be like Seven, the movie. That's what drama time would be. I enjoy the long stories most, so I decided to put one together with some backstory and stuff and tell you of my woes. I was a big fan of Warcraft 3 when it came out. I was also pretty young, around 6 years of age. And then when Uncle Tony, who was only 8 years older than me, right? Uncle Tony is only 8 years older than our 6-year-old little boy here, who also introduced me to Warcraft 3, showed me World of Warcraft. I was hooked. Of course, I didn't have my own computer, so I spent literally 3 years just watching beside Uncle Tony and soaking in all his wisdom. I still believe to this day he was actually a decent player. He killed Onyxia. He killed Nefarian. He killed some AQ40 bosses. Not all. And, wait for it, wait, brace, he reached Centurion in PvP. He also played an elemental shaman, which I later found out was very unusual. Chain lightning in AV, it's not that unusual. Really was not that unusual. I've got to be honest with you, a lot of Ellie shamans in AV just stood at the top pressing chain lightning and getting all the honor. Oh yeah, all the honor. All the honor for days. Just stood there with 600 or how many people were in AV? 40 v 40?
40 on 40.
40 people all stood on a platform all just being chain lightning to death. Yeah. A lot of Ellie shamans around in vanilla. Fun stories from this times were that Uncle Tony's father, my grandfather, was pretty strict and knew nothing about computers. He often screamed when he found out that we were playing after 11 PM. So Uncle Tony found a fix. Uncle Tony built what is described in the story as a light wall. Now, it's not as cool as it sounds, right? A light wall appears to be a board or some sort of thing that goes in front of one of them internal windows people used to have. Do you remember internal windows? Some of you might have still internal windows, but you would have a plastic window inside your house that like led from the living room, from the hallway. Yeah? Do you know what I mean? You guys know what I mean, right? You guys know what I'm saying. So the light wall is something you could put in front of that prevents light going through that. It used to be cool. I want to find you a picture of it, but internal window 1980-ish, I'm guessing. It was like in the 1980s it was a thing. It was like plastic PVC windows that would go between the living room and the dining room. No, you had a door as well. You're not understanding where I'm coming from. Andy, do you know what I mean?
About what, mate?
And you know, old school houses in like the 80s used to have like a plastic window or a hatch that went from the kitchen to the living room?
Yeah.
Right, no one in the chat knows what I'm talking about.
Fair enough.
I know.
We used to have one in the hallway as well.
You used to have one in the hallway? Yeah, sometimes. Okay. I've got it. All right. Here you go. So it'd look a bit like this, right? So, if you were playing your PC here or here, there would be this in the middle of it. Instead of just not a wall, like we decided was a better idea in modern times. Yeah? In modern times, we just don't have a wall. In the olden days, we just used to make a hole in the wall that you could throw the idea... Oh, you can't see it. Sorry. One sec. All right. There you go. Right. The idea of this device... is that Mum, who rightfully was in the kitchen... Can I get a hells, yeah?
Oh, yeah!
Would make dinner and then put the plate through there to save all the trouble of walking around. Right? There you go. And sometimes... And when... if you were classy... then this would be filled with plastic so that you couldn't use it. And often it was like muffled plastic, so you can't even see through it properly. Right? Okay, we're good. We all know where we're at. Excellent. Super. We're all clear on the light wall. The light wall covers that area up. That's what it is. It's a serving hatch. There you go. Steve's name's got it. All good. It's a dangerous world. But why not just have no wall, though? Why did we put flowers all over the walls in the 60s and stuff? Why did we do that? Like, what is this? Like, when you look at the 1960s decoration, 1960s, let's do this, 1960s working class decoration, why was brown the only color? See, it's all modern shit. It's like IKEA trying to copy it. It's not original, man. I want the original brown decoration that everybody had in the 60s. Like brown houses. Nice brown world. Full of flowers and shit. Yeah, I can't even find it. It's full of all modern nonsense for fucking hipster dudes. Because it's shit. Because brown was cheap. It's a colour. How is brown cheaper than, I don't know, magnolia, for example? You know what I mean? With light in the room. Anyway, I digress. We all clear on the light wall? Good shit. Excellent. Alright. The light wall was so that when Granddaddy passed by the doors, it was the doors with the window that you couldn't clearly see through, he wouldn't be able to see the lights, which wasn't that easy because of our CRT monitors, which were like lighthouses. Always, after 11 PM, he would put the light wall up and leave it there until he had finished raiding, and then hide it. Yeah? So this is the plan. This is what we're doing. We're playing in the living room. When it's getting late, we're putting the light wall up and we're listening for Granddaddy. And then, if we do, we have to turn the CRT off and we have to wait for it to, like, power down like it used to, right? Because you can't... And then it'd leave that impression on the screen even though it was off, where it burned the last image into the screen. Good times, man. One day, though, my granddad got hungry late at night. He was going into the kitchen to make a sandwich. He could see the doors, and we were in a raid, which meant we couldn't turn the monitor off for a moment. Not only that, though, I desperately needed a pee. How do we solve the issue? Uncle Tom knew. Uncle Tom downed the remains of his Coca-Cola and handed me the bottle with the message, "Do not fuck up our plan." I sacrificed myself for the team. Not to mention, it was not easy for me to figure out how to get it into the bottle without making a mess, right? Because nobody wants to stick a bottle end on the Jap's eyeball end, do they? They don't want to do that. Nobody wants to do that. Nobody wants to stick the bottle right on the eye. No one wants to do that. Because look, it's actually quite tough. Nobody wants to do that. Let me test it. Oh. And then it's going to spray. And then it's going to spray. I don't think he watched. I've never pissed in the bottle, I'll be honest with you. I think Andy has, though. Yep. Also, about this time was when world bosses were introduced to the game. But how would we go to the world bosses? He would often leave the computer on with just ICQ. And just turn off the monitor. This was pre-mobile phones. And we would go to sleep waiting for the call if a world boss was to spawn. Of course, we could only do this when Grandpa was on night shift, but it was all worth it. Seeing the dragon for the first time. That would have been Azurgos, right? Azurgos was pretty fun. And the raggy death animation. When that spinning hammer fell, I still remember it clearly to this day. And many, many wonderful memories. I played a bit when Tom wasn't home. Uncle Tony wasn't home and left the PC for me. I followed his race choice, and I do to this day of picking only Taurens because they are the strongest. But during vanilla, I made it only to level 32 as a warrior, and then the Burning Crusade came out. Uncle Tony went full PvP on his shaman and managed to get to brutal shoulders. By TBC times, I was also playing more. I capped my Tauren Hunter. Played some PV when they hold a gun. It's so fucking stupid. But I only managed to get unfinished season 3. That's like just the legs and the boots or something. Braces. By rather the Lich King launch, Uncle Tony gave up. And I was left alone. I tried it, but I just couldn't commit much since me and Tony started doing different things. I was turning 14 or 15. And I kept following the guidance Uncle Tony, since I thought he's 8 years older. He does cooler stuff than my peers. I can drink beer with him. Getting drunk at 14 or 15. He also started to work out and become pimping. And me, 14 to 15-year-old, could easily be lured into the gym by the promises of pussy. So I became focused on sports. And mainly on less time-consuming games that would drop in, drop out. After a few years, though, by the time I was 17, I was in the final year of high school, and I couldn't stop thinking about WoW. I thought to myself, I tried PvP. I've done that, but now I want to conquer the PvE world. So I browsed. I chose the Burning Crusade. During my 14 to 17 years of age of mine, I tried Wrath of the Lich King and Kata shortly, but wasn't hooked. I found the perfect private realm. Yes. Twice the leveling speed. Good PvE. Everything else was Blizz-like. It was at patch 2.4.3, with a long history of being the best TBC server. I stood before of what decision to make on the character. I wanted to invest a lot of time into one character and have various options in specs since I'm not a fan of alts. The Druid. Tauren, of course. I decided I was going to be a bear. Leveling went fast, 69 hours to 70 at the double rate, grinding just mobs and not doing quests. Why though? What? Quests, right, are grinding, but with more reward. It's how it works. That's the point. The quest is to go and grind mobs. It's what it's for. Only if there's some ludicrous buff or spawn rate does it just work to grind them out. Do the quest at the same time. That's all I'm saying. See more of the world. Explore. It's World of Warcraft. God, any of you just grinded to cap? Not according to Uncle Tony. It's not how Uncle Tony does it. I know people who've done this. You just find an area and just grind non-stop, just killing mobs over and over again for hours and hours and hours. Fucking crazy. Ugh. Ugh, horrible. Anyway. We had a few blues. But instance experience didn't work. I want to tell you for the audience, because they might not know, the Burning Crusade was quite hard times. LFG in chat was the only option for getting into instances. You had to travel there on your own. Right? You needed attunements to enter anything, even heroics. And since my kitty cat DPS was poor, it wasn't that easy to get into groups. Tanking it would be. Tanking it would be. You needed to have gear for the heroics. There was no face rolling in TBC. Yes, I'm mocking Mr. Wrath of the Lich King onwards with easy tanking. It was hard on a fucking feral druid. Was it? Really? Really? Was it though? No, it wasn't, was it? No. Wasn't. Sorry. Mr. TBC nostalgia. Wasn't hard on a druid, was it? In fact, I think Paladin and Druid were the easiest tanks to play. Just saying. Just saying. Swipe, 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 swipe. Swipe, 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 swipe. Oh! Growl. Swipe, 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 swipe. Psh. Wrath of the Lich King easy mode, boys. Wrath of the Lich King was the easy shit. TBC though. That was where it's at. Oh. Mangle. No, it's thrash these days. It was thrash. Okay, anyway. It was hard, but it was rewarding. Thus all worth it. I read thousands and thousands of forums about the Burning Crusade tanking, and TBC as a whole. The possibility of using resilience, which was true by the way, you could use PvP gear, to reduce crit instead of defense rating. And overall, I was enjoying the beginnings. Even when the server was 2.4.3, I promised to myself I will always finish the raids before going to the next one. I would do Kara, then Gruul, Magtheridon, SSC, then Tempest Keep, then Mountain Hyjal, then Black Temple, then Sunwell, in that order. Never jumping, never getting boosted, never carried. I couldn't find a guild, so I was in the pug world. And after one night, when I looked at my clock and realised I had spent 4 hours in Zulaman without killing a single boss. Even the Eagle boss? What? How's that possible? 4 hours? What was the first boss? The egg guy? Did he stand in the lightning thing? I don't know. I said to myself, never again. I am finding a guild. And I did. I did find a guild. I found the Sunshine Death Bunnies. They were doing the raids from the start in progress, just as I wanted. And I jumped in for the SSC progress. The Sunshine Death Bunnies had small dramas, but nothing to mention. The main drama started when we started to burn out on the Burning Crusade. Time had passed. I'm 18 years old, and it's around September. The Sunshine Death Bunnies officers are burning out, having IRL issues, and they're quitting one by one. Only one of the officers claimed that this guild is like his kid and won't let it die. Wow. This guild is just like my child. I won't let it die. I just won't. He was a Draenei Resto shaman named Tom. Now, to explain how it works in a server that featured cross-faction PvE, you could team up with the opposite faction, but you need 2 guilds for ally and horde side, connected via guild-to-guild add-on. My brain just popped. And of course, officers from horde had no access to invite ally players into guild, or no access to the ally bank. And this would be important later. I felt really good in this guild, and I couldn't let it just die. So I stepped as a replacement for our officer. I had been a core player for many months, and lately I had also taken the next step and bought a microphone. I think I'm officer material. Oh, he's good back in the day. Well, this guy's gotta be officer. He talks for one. It's pretty dope. Let's get him in. Let's get him in. I mean, that's a tick. That's a tick on the box. Can speak. After the whole September burnout, we lost like 8 core and officer players. But I naively thought that with Tom, we could do it. Fill the roster and finish the Sunwell. Tom is from Team Norway, about 24 years old. He was taking care of the Alliance side of things. I was doing the Horde side of things. We started recruiting, but kind of mindlessly. We decided to forego the application process to increase the number of people joining the guild. Yeah. Good decisions. Not all of the players we got were good. Sometimes we had really bad luck with some people that started to ruin the name of our guild. Since it's a private TBC server, even in 2K population, people know your name. And even more guild names. Good players will start avoiding the guild if the server noobs have joined yours. Of course, we also got a couple of decent players, and we could step down a bit to Mount Hyjal first, right? Before going back to the Sunwell, and we could do maybe like the first half of BT or something, and then we'll definitely be in Sunwell next week. But our guild survived, and that's the important thing. By that time, Tom had recruited Lyrica. A prop paladin human and a girl IRL. She was decently geared and also had a Fury warrior, who after some time became her main, so she could be known as a Draenei Fury Warrior, or the Femme Space Goat as we nickname her. Tom recruited her, and during some usual questions, he found out that Lyrica was from the Czech Republic. Oh, I've seen those videos. Dude, girl from the Czech Republic. Nice. Yeah? Nice.
Slack.
Not, well, look, according to the video evidence. I mean,
I've tried every fibre in my body to not say that.
This happens to be the neighbouring country of Slovakia. We have a pretty similar language, and also both countries are small, so it's not a huge deal to travel between them. But by that time, I didn't care. I treated girls in game like everyone else. Never thought it could become a date. Relationships were retarded. I'm listing these things, but by the time we met in game, I wasn't even thinking of Poon. I didn't realise Tom is also burnt out. He started to log in less and less often. I had a problem, no one in charge of the Alliance side, and I often had to wait a couple of days for Tom to log in to invite somebody to the guild. It basically led to new recruits losing interest, and then I asked him to make my level 1 gnome officer on the ally side, so I could at least G-invite people, and it took him days. So now I'm being in complete charge of the guild without any experience in leading a guild. I was main tank before. I of course knew tactics and what to do in raids, but running the guild? No idea. Making raid compositions is not my strong suit. In TBC, Shaman's buffs only with groups and bloodlust and totems, and you were swapping people and all that kind of stuff. There's a big difference between classes, and it matters what you bring and how many you bring. So sometimes I would end up having 3 rogues in the raid. And only 1 single target healer. This led to us not doing very well and losing prestige amongst the guild. And it made it overall harder to raid something tier 6 onwards. I could completely understand the burnout thingy since I got to that state faster and faster and I was only the guild master. Tom stopped playing completely, but I got new players who still helped me here and there. After raids, I was so drained that I'd often end up playing with Lyrica until the late hours or on off days. She told me she'd played since vanilla, got some decent achieves on the official servers, like Lich King 25 Heroic. She killed Jaden before the patch, but that's a different character. Oh yeah, I've done everything in the game. No, you can't armory or anything like that. I lost that account and I was hacked, but I did it. Oh, good. Then it came. She asked me for my Facebook. To be honest, I was still clueless that someone could try to get a date through WoW, or this could mean something. I thought for myself that she just wants it to be friends, talking about WoW and stuff more often when we weren't online. Nothing more. So I gave her my Facebook. I said, sure, but you won't laugh for my age. Apparently, it was known that I was probably around 25, and I never bothered to correct them. I was 18. It's adult's age in Czech and Slovakia, but for those who live in 21-year-old legal countries, not so much. She answered me, "Don't be silly." No, don't be silly. And just give it to her. She was a hell of a good-looking girl, but she seemed like she was 22 plus. And according to a rule that girls only date older guys, are we all clear on this rule? Are we all clear on this rule? I still didn't feel like I was falling for her. Sure, she was pretty. She was funny. We had good convos. But I was realistic. I was few months after not good refusal on my long-term... Oh... Daniel. Who I knew for many years and fell for her after just... Daniel's a girl. Fell for her after being just friends for a couple of years. She got hotter when she got older. And I just wasn't in the mood for relationships. I later told Lyrica about Daniel, and that I liked her, but she chose my best friend over me. Which was unexpected for me, because I considered myself better looking than my friend. Surprisingly, though, Lyrica became a bit jelly and about thinking that I didn't get over Daniel. So for her good, I kind of stopped talking with Danielle completely. But with Lyrica, we were talking even more, even during the day. She was working in IT. I was studying artificial intelligence and cybernetics at university. So we kind of always had something to talk about. It's December then. 3 or 4 months after Guild lost many officers. Like 3 months since I knew Lyrica. Holding raids, going still was pain in my ass. When we made it to Gertog, the 5th boss of BT, we called that a success. Which was a shame for me because of where I had been just months before. So I started to ask those from the old core and Lyrica what they think about going to maybe a Wrath of the Lich King private server. Make new characters, make the new journey there. Which of course in my mind was a perfect idea because Wrath had 10-man instances and we wouldn't have to carry the 15 others. It was the perfect solution and nothing could stop us. Nothing could go wrong. Some didn't want to move. Some couldn't agree what to roll. 8 out of the 10 core people wanted to be a warrior because of Shadow Mode. I was the only one willing to play something that wasn't DPS. And that was because I wanted to be a feral tank like I was in TBC. But Lyrica wanted to play on Wrath of the Lich King. So we decided, let's just be us two. Let's be the 2-man army. Find a guild or make one, whatever. What should we do with our old TBC guild? I felt I couldn't just leave them like that. On the other hand, Lyrica told me I should do what I want the most, what is best for me. So I solved it by telling them that with Christmas, I was going to Wrath of the Lich King. Hold the guild until then, and if they could choose someone to take my place, I leave it up to them. I did leave. Later I found out that 4 of them made a new guild and they got to Kalagos after just a month. And by summer vacation, they had cleared everything. You left. There's got to be something horrible about when you leave the guild, right? And everybody just does miles better. Feels fucking bad, man. It feels bad that you leave as the GM and then suddenly the guild does really, really well. During that time, though, we still spent the whole day on Facebook together chatting with Lyrica. And I'm still not considering any moves, of course. She's Czech, she's hot. I'm not thinking about it. The moment I realized that she had fallen for me is when I told her to don't worry, since we are co-workers in conquering Wrath of the Lich King. Co-workers? You told a girl in a hobby that you were co-workers? I mean, co-workers? Bruh. Bruh. Oh my god. She didn't respond at first, but then she said, "Is this the only relationship between us? Co-workers?" It then hit me what I had said. I was speechless. Oh, yeah. She really would like to overcome the distance and faith of being strangers from game for me. For me? Sure, I'm not a total uggo-fuggo monster. Nice description of yourself there. I'm not an uggo-fuggo monster. And people think I'm older than I am, but still, I couldn't believe it. She just told me I'm too harsh on myself and I should believe in myself more. And that was also a time when she specified her age. It was 22 plus as I thought, but a little bit more than I thought. She was soon to turn 29. How could I think she would be interested in me, right? Well, for sure I couldn't call her my friend, and apparently I can no longer call her my co-worker, because that would make her mad. And then apparently it meant that I didn't care about her, but I did like her. I didn't want to hurt her, but it was new for me to try and build a relationship over the internet. It took me a while, but I did fix it. How do you think he fixed it? He fixed it. No. Don't laugh. He fixed it. He fixed it. He fixed it. It took a while, but I decided to drop the love bomb. What are we? Are we friends? Or what? I love you. It's such a guy trap. It's just a fucking guy trap. Oh, God. She said it took too long and that it must be trust issues. I just said I had bad experience. So we played Wrath. She was an Orc Fury warrior. Dude, you are getting pegged so hard. I stuck with my Tauren. On this server, it was only normal leveling speed, and since we were playing in party, it went way slower than I was used to. No grinding. She wanted to do quests, and I was like, ugh. At least I'll see some of the quests, since I only just know how to grind mobs. I told her that I need to make exams in school, and then I could come over to her place since she had her own apartment. And I still lived in Mama's house. Not to mention that exams took me over a month. During that time, it had one particular drama which should have been a red flag for me. She suddenly revealed that she lived in a bigger apartment, via rent, with another couple and a guy, who was her ex-boyfriend, who used to be unemployed, but she helped him get a job. Then they broke up, but decided to keep living together to keep splitting the rent. Shit. I told her I loved her. Motherfucker. Motherfucker. I was not amused by this. But Breacher and chat, you must understand, our countries have it pretty bad with keeping enough money to live on your own. So it's not always, I don't want to let him go, but it's easier financially, right? Her ex knew about me longer than I knew about him, and apparently he still wanted to date Lyrica, but she didn't want him. And when Lyrica came with me, he started to act like a jealous dick. He would often make life harder for Lyrica. Now when it was like a month until I was supposed to come, she told him to move out of the apartment. He, of course, had the ability to say no. And he started to become an even bigger dick. Eventually, he tried the suicide card. If she didn't stop talking to me. It's such a go-to for so many guys, isn't it? Oh, God. Well, there's only one solution to this. Is there though? Like, alright. When it didn't work, and a few weeks later, he did move out. Fuck. We were both happy that when I would come, he wouldn't be there. It was hard times for both, but mainly for her by that time. There was lots of crying and stuff, and he'd made it quite worse. But I was happy as fuck. Oh, yeah. No. I'm sad too. Yeah. But D-Day. The day when I had tickets for a train to visit Lyrica. By train, it took 8 hours to get from my place to hers. It was going to be the first time we would meet IRL. She was waiting for me at the train station, and the whole journey I was scared to death. But I told myself it was time to man up. I got off the train. I saw her, shaking with late winter coldness. I greet her, and not waiting for an answer, gave her a kiss. Picture I was never into love. In fact, I called it plague when I was younger. Which makes you doing stupid shit and even being happy about it, but that moment was awesome. We went back to her apartment, and before I unpacked, we banged. It was the day I said bye-bye to being a virgin. The whole week I stayed there until I had to leave for university. It was the best week of my life. Banging, wow, repeat. To this day, it was the best memories I have. 1 week I stayed there. New semester! We decided I will visit every second week, like a web show. When I went to visit, it looked like this. All lessons were Friday, moved to another day, which were already full, and I was leaving school by the evening. Often spending over 12 hours a day to do all projects and stuff that I had open. I would go to Uncle Tony's for some job in his moving company to get some money. I was doing part-time jobs so I could get there. I'd help train tickets and help pay for the household for Lyrica. Then at Thursday, 6:20, my last lesson ended. Went home for a shower, packed, and by 9, I had to catch a train. Come to Lyrica's at 6 AM the next day. She'd go to work. I'd do some university work or learn something to school. Enjoy Friday evening when she came home. Saturday was lazy. Sunday, train back home. And I'd get home for about 6 o'clock. Get some sleep to wake up at 6:20 AM on a Monday and start the whole thing again. It was exhausting. We capped in Wrath of the Lich King, but I simply couldn't commit that much to the game. Max we could make was stupid knacks, which was so boring, especially as feral. Like, seriously? Swipe, 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 swipe. Bash, fairy fire, swipe, 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 swipe. By that time, I had fallen completely in love with Lyrica. I found out she liked Norse mythology, and that she was also talking with Tom. Long ago when he recruited her. But when we started to date, he was kind of sad and stopped talking with her. I was talking with him even earlier. He simply stopped coming to ours, so I had no business with Tom. I stopped caring what was up with him. With Lyrica, we were thinking of going back to the TBC server. We weren't really pleased with Wrath, and we were looking if someone from the old core was still around to rekindle that fire. We found a few guys, but not many. And Tom nowhere to be found. It was also the time of stabilizing stuff, right? We're stabilizing stuff. I wanted to help Lyrica with paying the bills. So we had a plan which we discussed that after next semester, I would stop my studies, pause my studies, move in with her, start work as a programmer, and then finish school later externally. I was convinced because job experience must have been bigger value than going to university, right? That's what I kept telling myself. Once I decided I was going to do this, she asked if I would even marry her at some point. It's like watching a fly around the fly trap. Just spinning and spinning and spinning and spinning and just coming ever closer. Ever closer. I was shocked, but I loved her so much. I said yes. At some point, I would like to do that. I love you, Lyrica. Summer is close, and it was like 1.5 months to finish the year at university. Lyrica got into some health problems. Nothing serious, but we could feel the change. I was 19 by that time. I'm not saying it was changes directly influenced by the health issues, but it was a good time milestone. I worked even more often not paying real attention to school to help Lyrica. But she seemed more and more distant. I thought it's all that affection from fresh love wearing off, and this is going to be the solid stuff, and that our relationship will become better because of it. Her sister came to visit her and meet me. She was a bit younger than Lyrica, but still like 5 to 6 years older than me. Her sister was a bit surprised to find out that I was 19 and her 30-ish. I guess this also had some impact to Lyrica. She often told me that I was being too nice, that I shouldn't wear pink glasses. That seems so oddly standout. There's this sentence. She often told me that I was being too nice, wearing pink glasses, too young, and had no real life experience. Why the pink glasses line? Well, you really remembered that, didn't you? That really pissed you right off. All this stuff is very general life stuff, but the pink glasses line? Dude, dagger to the heart, man. Dagger to the heart. That was cold, man. I loved those pink glasses. I freaking loved those pink glasses. You know what I mean? Oh, what, does she mean rose tinted? Oh, she could do Lucifer. Yeah, he could mean rose tinted. Yeah. That makes way more sense. Okay. Rose tinted makes way more sense, but pink glasses is a better story. Yeah, pink glasses is a better story. So we're going to go with our man had some fucking fabulous pink glasses, and she didn't like them at all. She was right, and I knew it. Even when a few months ago she was telling me otherwise, but you see, I was in love. And that feeling of distance kept growing. She spoke about traveling. She said that I made her feel like a slave. Jesus Christ. Will you marry me? Yeah. You make me feel like a fucking slave, yo. I feel like a slave. Pay my bills. Goes hand in hand, right? Goes hand in hand. Apparently it wasn't just the job and country. She felt like she was in prison. She told me we were breaking up 3 weeks before I was supposed to move together with her. I was crushed. She did tell me face to face, and I cried all the way home on the train. Oh, like a little puss. I cried like a little puss. When time passed, I found it really funny. Since the couple in the train, the train was full, I sat next to a window to try and hide my tears as much as I could, even though I knew that everybody fucking knew I was being a little bitch in the corner of the train. Apparently only the train employee who came to offer coffee and refreshment didn't notice, and kept asking me, Sir, do you want a coffee, sir? Sir, you ignorant little fuck. You in the pink glasses, you miserable twat. Do you want a tea or a coffee? Sir. Until I answered her with a red face and tears rolling down my face with a, no, I don't want a coffee. It was pretty bad at university, since I favoured anything over it for the last year, and exams just started to, you know. It wasn't easy because of how crushed I was. All honours, though, to my wingman Daniel. No, Tom. No, Daniel. Wingman Danielle, that's it. My wing girl Danielle, who didn't abandon me after I abandoned her friendship because of Lyrica. When I came back and explained, she was sound with it. She helped me to recover, overcome it, and move on. She thinks that WoW is nerdy bullshit, so she'll never hear this. But anyway, respect to you, Danielle. Of course, one also has to have a hobby. So next to school, as part of my recovery, it was TBC time, baby. Before we broke up with Lyrica, we joined a new guild. Oh, what do we have? The Sausage Fest. Appropriate. Who were freshly formed on the server and starting Sunwell Plateau, just where I left off with the Sunshine Death Bunnies. Although after the breakup, it was more complicated. Lyrica didn't want to leave the guild, neither did I. I told Lyrica we could talk. Never told her about crying on the train like a bitch. I just kept it going. We didn't speak much. We were just joining raids less and less often. We were both core by the time of the breakup, so officers were wondering what's with her attendance. I arranged for them to have a little talk with Lyrica, but she probably told them she was just busy IRL. I'm now much more happier, and thank God I dodged that bullet. Please, audience, don't sacrifice your schooling for that. As a treat, though, I don't know if you want me to show this, but you've sent it to me and said show it. I've drawn a picture that I drew while I was in love with Lyrica that I thought was cute. Do you want to see this? Because it's going to make you sad. All right, let's see how clear you can see this. Andy, you're gonna love this. You ready?
Go for it.
This is the picture that symbolizes their relationship. That's him, because he's the feral druid tank, right?
There's a pretty girly face.
That's her as the little orc with the little ears. And that's the baby turtle that they might have one day.
Why would they have a baby turtle, mate? I don't know a lot about biology. I kind of tune in. I tune out after the fucking, but why do an orc and a bear have a turtle to get to the other side?
That's not even bad. That's okay. Good times. All right, so everybody clear? Oh, God, you guys who sacrifice everything for the love of a good woman. Sweet Jesus. Okay. Right, that was a longer story than I thought it was going to be, but I've got something that should be perfect for the remaining time period. Okay. Oh, come on. And then we got loads of them at once. Nice. Gotta get that puss. Yeah, but you don't need to, like, sacrifice university, get married, draw pictures of you having turtle babies. That science doesn't sit right with Ghost. Something's not right here. All right. The war. The war. I'm writing to you having watched pretty much all of the drama times and thinking it was about time it contributed to the ever-growing list. I've been watching your channel for a few years now after having discovered it by accident after researching religion for a class assignment. I love that that happens, by the way. That's awesome. Having you come up in one of the early drama times and for some reason clicking that video, here we are. So backstory then. I started playing Warcraft 3 at the age of 7 and loved it a lot. When I was told of the World of Warcraft by a friend in grade 6, I just had to have it. And surprisingly enough, it didn't take much convincing from Mummy to get it for me. Including both the Burning Crusade and Wrath of the Lich King expansions. You fucking rich motherfucker. Look at this fucking money bags here. Cunt. Cunt. Can I have these 3 video games? Sure. Monthly subscription? Yeah. No problem. No problem. Well, aren't we, Mr. fucking Moneybags, hey? Aren't we special? Mummy's special little boy. You know what world we live in? Do you know the new hard drive we bought today is IDE with a fucking Molex power lead? That's how we live. Yeah? That's how we live. You rich son of a bitch. 80, is it 80? 80 gigabytes of storage. 80 gigabytes of storage. That's right. That's what we have in 2017. Why do you live like that? IDE, what the fuck? Don't worry, there's good stuff on it. The problem here then was that I was and still am a very busy person, earning all that swag cash, no doubt. If I remember correctly, me and my little brother, of whom also played Warcraft 3 and had to have World of Warcraft, could only play on Friday afternoons, evenings, as it was the only time we both had free. Oh, okay, all makes sense now. Your mum got you those games because your mum is getting fucked all the time by daddy. Because you two are in a lot of classes, aren't you, boys? Soccer practice, dancing practice. Fucking dad's getting his dick wet every night, except Fridays, kebab night.
Kebab night, mate.
Because Fridays is motherfucking kebab night, y'all. But you better be out of the house Saturday morning. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. Totally makes sense. Oh, hang on. I'm totally right, by the way. Wait for it. Mondays was swimming. Tuesdays was guitar lessons. Wednesday was soccer. Thursdays was karate. Saturday mornings was yet more soccer. And Saturday afternoons, evenings, I was usually out at a friend's house. And Sundays being for church and family time. Recovery on a Sunday. Yeah?
Yeah.
Recovery on a Sunday.
Savlon on your dick.
Oh, ice pack. Hey. Monday's coming. My brother followed a similar schedule. And I only tell you this because it's relevant to the story. Eventually, we got the game installed. That's sickening. That's sickening. Then installed it. And I created a troll rogue called Lemon Hat. Due to the fact that there was a lemon on my hat on my desk. Hell of a reason. Why a lemon, though? I hope you're not eating raw lemons.
What's wrong with that?
That's gross, bro.
Good for you.
So it's an orange. And doesn't make you go...
Like cricket.
Like living cricket. Just like cricket. Okay, so Lemon Hat the Troll Rogue. I love the open world. Fuck you, I eat lemon. You don't bite into a lemon, though. The vast map. It was unlike anything I had to compare it with any other video game I played. That being Ratchet and Clank and Star Wars Battlefront on my PS2. Yes, you do. No, you don't. That's disgusting. Ooh, do you eat raw onion as well? Oh. My brother created an orc warlock. Now, given all the awesome things our friend had told us about this game, we wanted to jump right in and progress our characters and defeat the Lich King. However, with only 1 hour of playtime on a Friday, it wasn't sufficient to kill the Lich King. So my brother, being the obnoxious little bastard he is, called his entire soccer team one solemn Friday and filled the room where the PC was. And he sat playing WoW for the entirety of 2 hours. Fucker. There was no way I was going to get past that army and have my turn on the game. What's worse, he kept grinning over at me in the kitchen doing my chores, knowing that he had won that day. I would have told Mum and Dad, but neither were ever home on Friday. Oh! On Fridays, they go out. Andy, on Fridays, the Mum and Dad go out. Science. And as such, I had to suffer. So the next week I made a plan. I would bring my own army to combat the threat and obtain the prize. So I waited until the following Friday. I didn't mention anything to my parents, and sure enough, he brought his little soccer team over, grinned and made his way to the computer with all his friends following him. A few minutes passed though, and then the knock at the door came, and my army of grade 6 boys came into the house, and instantly the younger and smaller soccer team scattered. Keep in mind, a lot of us lived relatively close to each other in the same town, so getting to and fro wasn't a big deal. My brother retreated with them, and I played my now level 3 Troll Rogue with pride and joy, my friends watching on from behind me. After about 15 minutes, we got bored and went outside anyway, but I had still won the gaming war. So, Preacher, as you can probably guess at that age, the situation escalated abruptly. The next week, my brother brought around the entire soccer team and some friends from guitar practice. I thought the jig was up. We'd had our fun, we were going to settle down and get on with things like normal, but apparently he saw it differently. So the next week, I called in the grade 6 boys, my friends from karate, and the rest of the lads from my soccer team. It ended up with about 30 people or so on that Friday. Given a lot of the boys I was friends with had little brothers and their little brothers were friends with my little brother, we had amassed everyone we could from soccer, swimming and his friends in general to come and fight the war over 2 hours of World of Warcraft. That Friday, I ran the plan through my head, weighing up battle strategies and tactics. We would use all the pillows in the house, barricade ourselves in the hallway that led towards the study, covering our only entry and exit to the computer. Eventually, Friday came. My brother's friends of mine amassed outside the door. Most of their parents had just driven them, and many had just walked over as it was getting near winter. As soon as everybody was in the house, things exploded. Pillows were flying, cardboard was crashing, the fridge was being raided. In previous weeks, there had been a little mess, but not enough to make Mum question whether we'd had friends over. After almost an hour of play fighting, although to us it seemed like 5 minutes, if I remember correctly, we heard the dreaded garage door close. Dad was home. Nearly instantaneously, he burst through the door. Saw our friends standing around, wrestling with each other, playing games, eating all our food. And for a brief moment, everybody was silent. We all knew we were royally fucked. To be fair, I had been on WoW for about 20 minutes. But, being the older of the group, of me and my brother, and therefore the more responsible sibling, I was about to be the target of Daddy's rage. Such is the agony in victory. I got a lot of the punishment for throwing parties when Mum and Dad weren't home. I tried to explain to him, now wait for it. wait for it. I tried to explain to him that we weren't having a party. This was about playing on the computer. He wasn't having any of it. After the house was cleaned up, though, my dad was a bit of a baller and bought us all some pizza until the parents could come and pick up the kids because it had gone dark because of the winter hours. He knew most of our friends anyway, so it wasn't that big of a deal to him. Thankfully, nothing got broken, and after that, we did reasonably split the PC 1 hour each. Till this day, I still only have a few hours for WoW because of band practice, part-time jobs, etc. But I'm currently an 89 warrior. You're still not capped? My current main is an 89 warrior. And my current goal is to get him to max level before the next expansion hits. Love your content, love your channel. Thank you for reading. Still, we're gonna get to 110, boys. This guy will never do an emissary quest. Played all of Legion. Played all of Legion. From the fucking start of Legion. Never gonna do an emissary quest. Dude, just play another game. He likes WoW. It's fine for him. Still, all these... Where is he at level 89? Shit. I can't even remember my fucking expansions. Where is he at level 89? Fuck. That's blowing my mind. Where's 89? Is that just Mr. Pandaria? Yeah, it's Pandaria, right? Yeah. So he's in the Dreadwaste. Fucking hell, the Dreadwaste is still new to him. Oh, shit, he's got WOD coming in like 1 level, boys. Woo! He's going to WOD. He's an Orc. Frost. Oh, he's going to get a garrison soon. Pretty hype. He's heard about him. Pretty hype. He's got a garrison coming up in 1 level. That's going to be pretty dope. Yeah, man. He's going up to Frostfire Ridge soon. It's going to be fucking sick. It's going to be well good. Hey, you don't know. You don't know. Yeah, just no idea, man. He probably doesn't have heirlooms either. No, he's going to be just like my wife, which is the perfect segue as her journey continues in 3 hours from now. I can hear that my boys are home. So, ladies and gentlemen, that brings us to the end of drama. But the streaming for today is not over or for this weekend. My lovely lady will be here at 8 o'clock for you guys to tease me and ask all sides of personal questions, as apparently happens quite a lot. And then tomorrow it is the web show and doing all that cool stuff because we have so much going on in WoW right now. It's pretty ridiculous-donk. Pretty ridiculous. So all that's going on there. Ladies and gentlemen, if you're not going to join us, have a wonderful weekend. I shall see you all on Monday, which I think Andy's looking at Final Fantasy 14, maybe, or something along those lines. I'll have to call him and text him because he's gone home now. But other than that, be good. Do something good with your weekend. I hope you all have a wonderful time. Thank you all for a great week once again. It has been a ton of fun. Best job in the world because of you. I can't say that without sounding like a twat, but it's true though. So I'm off. See you later, guys.